Good morning, guys. Sunshine. So, Sleepy Hollow. Now, he didn't get to see it, but I remember telling him about it a couple of nights ago, and he'll give his input because he's just like that, aren't you, Dad? Yeah, see? He's that kind of guy. So, it's called Sin Eater. Ichabod and Abby were out at a baseball game. Now, she's trying to modernize him and bring him into today,
Acclimate him.
acclimate him into today, since he's still from his day. So she took him to a softball game, a boys' softball game, and she's yelling at the umpire and everything, and he's trying to figure out, why are you doing this? And she's explaining, well, when he makes a play that we don't agree with, you have every right to yell at him. So Ichabod sees that and starts yelling at the umpire, and she's like, you got to make sure a play was made before you do that. He's like, oh. And so the game is over, they're heading home. She says, I'll give you a ride, and he's like, no, 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 I want to walk and forage around and get used to my surroundings. As he's walking home, he gets kidnapped. So Abby's back at their base waiting for him, and he's not there. And apparently, she's sitting at the desk waiting and wondering what's going on. She kind of phases out and meets up with Ichabod's late ghost of a wife, Katrina, and she's saying, look, go and save him. He's in trouble, but be careful of stuff going on. And she's like, what's going on? She's like, you'll see. And then disappears. Abby freaking out, going, where's Ichabod? He's been gone forever, and I've retraced where we've gone, and we can't find him. She goes and gets her sister, who's still away, and she gets her a 24-hour furlough, which means she can get out for 24 hours, but she has to go immediately back. And they're going after Ichabod. But what happens is Ichabod was kidnapped by Masons. This is where Dad will explain the rest about Masons and stuff. Go ahead, Dad. Take it away.
Actually, they're Freemasons.
Freemasons.
An order that's been around for who knows how long. Some people say it's been going on since back to the ages of the pyramids. It's a society that is associated with a variety of governments and or religions. They're master builders plus other things. George Washington was a Mason. Ben Franklin was a Mason. I believe Thomas Jefferson was a Mason. Most of the political figures in our history, and the history of this country, were Freemasons. It's a society that is very secretive and very influential behind the scenes. So anybody that's associated with the order is on the ultimate in crowd. So go ahead.
So the Masons, he wakes up. He was apparently when he was taken away, he was drugged and dragged into the Order of Freemasons within where he was buried, not too far from where he was buried and where he woke up. And they said, look, the headless horseman, the horsemen and all the other things are coming around, and it has everything to do with you. So in order to get rid of at least the horsemen, you've got to drink this and literally kill yourself. That'll end that connection, and that will be done, and that'll weaken them, and then we can further fight on. By the way, my grandfather was a Mason. Anyway, moving on.
Different order of Masons, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, a different order. Anyway, so Abby, on the search for Ichabod, and having heard from Katrina about what's going on with Ichabod, she knew she knew that everything, what was going on and what has to happen. So she knew about the Freemason story and everything. She said, you've got to go find the Sin Eater. Now, Abby's like, what's a Sin Eater? What does it have to do with Ichabod? Now, if you've been watching previous episodes, there have been mentions of Ichabod's sins in previous encounters. and you're still not sure what it is yet. And today, well, this episode, you kind of find out what his sin is, and it's not confusing. It's a sin, but not the same sin Ichabod sees. So I won't go into detail. You've definitely got to watch this episode. It's really, really good. And I'll get him to watch it too.
You need to remember also, if you haven't been paying attention or haven't seen any of the previous episodes, that Ichabod Crane, according to this variation of the story, was also a British soldier before he became a patriot. So there's connections on both sides of the war that have to be sorted out, which is partly where this whole sin thing came from.
Absolutely. And that's exactly where the story, the sin part, enters in. I don't want to get into detail because I'll be telling you the episode. So
let's just say there's slaves involved, and life and death are imminent in the whole story, and it's according to what I've seen and heard from other sources, very good. So
it is a great story.
Watch it.
Now, getting away from the show, but getting to the actor Tom Meissen, who plays Ichabod, he was interviewed about doing the show and how he loves it. First of all, People's Choice Award, the show has been nominated, and I voted. So definitely go out and vote because it's a great show. It's picking up, and it's become such a instant hit like that. So that's number one. Number two, they interviewed him about the costumes in the show, and he said he loved doing the show, and he loves wearing the costumes because he likes wearing the period pieces. The one thing that he's still concerned about is that big wool coat, because they are filming in like North Carolina or something, so hot, and this big heavy wool coat that he's wearing all the time. Like you've seen Ichabod's coat, that's wool.
It's a little steamy in the area.
So he's wearing it all the time. He loves the boots, he loves the shirt, he loves everything else. The coat is so hot. Other than that, he loves doing the show and he enjoys it. Plus, this episode, you get a little hint of his relationship with Abby and just the connection.
I'm looking forward to when they change clothes on him and put him in some sneakers and some
high tops,
cargo pants, maybe.
Not gonna happen.
Nice, fleece, pullover,
a hoodie or something.
Yeah, something nice. Hey,
it could happen.
Bring him up to date. Yeah.
But
He'll probably take it all off, put back on his wool stuff, and sleep on the floor like he always does.
He doesn't sleep on the floor.
Oh,
he sleeps on a bed, Dad.
Well, a straw bed or whatever. I'm sure.
But he's still used. He's still going back to the way he was. Like he walks all the time, and he's not used to the phone and
toilets. I'm sure, and all those
and of course,
modern things that we
have. He hasn't changed his clothes because he's just still dealing.
250 years ago.
Yeah, he's
for
still
him. It's just yesterday.
And it also kind of introduces him meeting his wife and how they met. It doesn't get into their romance or anything, but hey, watch this episode because it's a great episode. It's called Soul Eater. And you learn more about...
Sin Eater.
Why do I keep saying Soul Eater?
Sin, soul.
I'm sorry.
They're closely connected.
Sin Eater. I'm sorry. But you get to meet the Sin Eater and you understand what's going on, and it's an interesting twist to the story.
And don't forget, while you're watching these various episodes, there's still a war going on between good and evil. And evil is not giving up easily. No matter how many minions are defeated in each of these episodes, or their progress is delayed, the forces of evil are still very strong, and they have not quit.
And the Headless Horseman, he ain't going anywhere. Just saying. So, you guys, that was us. We will see you next time. Here it comes. There is no movie coming out yet, but in time, we will find it. Well, he will find it, definitely.
Oh, I'll find it, definitely.
See, it's just...
If there's some crap out there to be seen, I'll see it.
Give him the face you get when the crappy movie's coming out, Dad. Come on. No, the smile. Seriously, the teeth, Dad. You usually do the teeth when you're... He does it. Every time a movie comes on that's really bad, he's like, Dad, are you watching this? Well, just imagine the teeth.
Usually they call these B movies. Some of these things are so bad they don't even have a rating. You can't find a letter low enough to rate them.
Z, crap, negative pi, it's
Asteroid, whatever,
Anyway,
comet, something really, really outrageous. It's my gift. I like looking for this stuff. I love it.
and we like sharing it
Me,
with
me and
you.
my buddy Roger, we live for these things.
Seriously, they do.
Hey, it's a gift.
It.
Time to go.
Anyway, I will see you tomorrow, and over the weekend I'm going to be doing an infomercial, so we'll be talking about that too. And Dad will be going with me.
Great.
He's not going to be in it, but he'll be going with
Thank goodness.
me. So we'll see you guys
Later.